How's it going, you guys? Christian Barrow here with Barrow Consulting and Wealth Management. So today we're going to be covering permanent policies. There's all sorts of different life insurance policies out there, but essentially they fall into two categories. Those two categories being a term, which is just like renting, very affordable, just like renting. That's what a term policy does. We're going to discuss that in another video. A permanent policy, which is more expensive, but you build equity with it. Equity that we refer to as cash value. So when it comes to the different types of permanent policies out there, you have 4 different types of permanent policies out there. You have a whole life policy, you have a universal life policy, and under the universal life policy falls the variable, and right after the variable, you have what is known as an index, okay? So those are the 4 different types of permanent policies. Now, what I'm going to explain first is the whole life. So essentially how this works is you have a certain amount of money that you put into the policy, which has 2 buckets, right? Those 2 buckets being the insurance and the second bucket being cash value. What the cash value bucket does is it earns interest. In this type of policy, it's anywhere between 4 to 5%. So that interest we refer to as dividends. So essentially how that works is the profit that these insurance companies earn, they share with policyholders. That's exactly how this works. So like I said, it's going to earn about 4 to 5% interest, right? So how a whole life policy works is, and how as far as the premiums go, this is a fixed premium. So fixed meaning that regardless, rain or shine, there's a certain amount that you have to put aside and you have to pay for the premium of this policy, right? It's a fixed policy. That's exactly how it works. The next thing that was introduced is universal. Now, how this is different is this is when flexibility was introduced to insurance policies. So what that means is there is a minimum that goes into the policy and there is a maximum that goes into the policy as well. So it just depending on how well your month is going, if your month is going not so well, you can put the minimum, you can pay the minimum premium for this policy. If you're having an excellent month and you want to max fund this type of policy, you have the option to do that because this is flexibility. It's when flexibility was introduced when it comes to the evolution of life insurance. So just depending on how your life works. So under that umbrella falls variable. Now, when it comes to variable, same thing. The cash value portion of it is all still there. So the cash value portion of it is just simply invested into sub-accounts. So just different sub-accounts similar to maybe a mutual funds and things like that attached to the market. So it can perform very well, but it can maybe not perform very well either. So it just depends on how it goes, which is why it's called variable. It can do well, maybe it won't do well. The next thing I'm going to introduce to you, what came after the variable policy, was index, something known as an index. So exact same thing. It has a cash value portion to this policy, but how it works essentially is there is a floor to this policy, meaning depending on how the market performs, if the market performs very low, if there's another 2001, if there's another 2008, and it performs very low, there is a floor, meaning you won't lose any money in this type of insurance plan, okay? So on the other side of that, there is also a cap. So the cap meaning that there's also limitations. So if the market does perform very well, there's limitations to how much of that percentage you can gain from that, okay? So that's the different features and benefits as far as an index goes. So that's pretty much sums up. It's very simple. I just wanted to sum up for you guys the 4 different types of permanent policies that are available to you out there. This doesn't really go into anything technical as far as interest rates go, as far as loan provisions, withdrawals, caps, things like that. They all have their different technical features and benefits, which we're going to show you in another video. But I hope you were able to get some value as far as what's available to you out there. What I would recommend doing is you can book an appointment through the platform that you are viewing here so that you can get a little bit more information. But again, I hope you got some value, and we'll see you guys next time.